ROCCAT came up big to stay alive in the quarterfinals.
ROCCAT not out of this one yet, coming back, and how. I think the focal point of this discussion will be what did you all also misplay in some instances, but to the defense of ROCCAT, they seem to have made the alterations, as the caster said as well, the Kalista, so incredibly crucial.
It seems so simple, almost, with the Kalista pick coming in. Rallis is a fantastic play on it, and also it gives ROCCAT the ability to fight properly in the mid-game. That has been the key for both teams here, because you see how Unicorns in this game, they're like, okay, we're weaker in the mid-game, we still have our one play style technically, so we're going to keep running at you, we're going to keep engaging, and they just ran straight into the open arms of ROCCAT, who were like ready to fight, because look at this, you got Corki, Kalista, and Rumble. I mean, it's the wet dream of mid-game for ROCCAT here. So the fact that Unicorns are not able to adapt to that when it comes to in-game, I mean, you have the coach there as well, should be able to tell the players what to look for. That was a big problem, and they fell so far behind because they just kept running in and fight.
Right, and even within game, they didn't adapt to their position of being behind. It was as if they were trying to play games 1 and 2 all over again, where it's like, okay, we're ahead, let's fight. Okay, we're ahead, oh no, wait, we're not ahead. And it has been a problem of the Unicorns, is just constantly try and fight, and you know, it's the chaos style that some people have called it. It doesn't work a lot of the time, and if you're behind, it definitely doesn't work. Like, you just can't keep fighting and expect it to suddenly miraculously work.
And seeing as both teams are so tunneled at, you know, this one particular playstyle almost for both of them, these mid-game conversations are going to be so key now moving on to Game 4. First of all, of course, the Kalista. I still feel like you can give it over to Unicorns. If they want to first pick it, put all the eggs on the basket here of VODS,
yeah.
who's 0-3 in Kalista, who's not been performing that well when he had to really step up and be a carry. And at the same time, you also, if you're lucky, then in the first pick that's Severe, you get the Kalista anyway, and you might force Unicorns to ban it. At the same time, Corki might just again become a valuable pick, not necessarily in the mid lane, but if Kalista Severe is banned out or whatever, then suddenly Corki goes very high up in value for both AD carries to get, because again, it's so much about the mid game for both teams.
Right, and the other option there is, depending on how the pick ban goes on the side of ROCCAT, you also open the option for yourself to get the Victor as well for your mid lane if you know Nukeduck does want to go for that. So there is a lot more options now that this series is evolving for the picks and bans phase when it comes to ROCCAT, and Unicorns seem to be running out of ideas, but every time we say they're running out of ideas, they've got right.
Almost like it's the beauty of best of series that the picks and bans evolve. Whoa. Yeah, I just got to commend ROCCAT for this one as well, because you know, we thought that they might fall into the trap again of letting it stall and didn't have to. It stalled a little bit to some good defenses of the Unicorns of Love, but I got to commend the fact that they went to that Corki pick, they committed, they got the early advantage, and they kept pushing through, knowing that their, well, playoff lives were on the line here. Yeah,
and again, also just for them finally realizing what Unicorns is doing well and what they're not doing so well. And that is very often, it's funny because Unicorns like to say they adapt super well, and I feel like we see very often best out of 5 series, it's the same thing again and again and again, and it's more depending on what you're playing against. If you're playing against strong early to mid game, Unicorns tend to struggle. I want people to think back to Spring Split when they were facing SK Gaming. Whenever Svensson got his hands on Lee Sin, he would carry the early game because Unicorns kept running into him and kept taking fights with him. Yeah. When they banned it away, that early game pressure went down, Unicorns got to late game, and they managed to win the game. So I don't feel like they're adapting that much. They're just doing kind of the same. And now it's up to ROCCAT to say, okay, we know we need a stronger mid game. That seems to be the way to go to win this series. Ban and pick towards it. Don't ban Kalista. I don't even think you need to ban Orianna. It seems like a waste to me, those two.
Well, who will be able to keep a cool head and bring it back in Game 4? We will see. Incredibly interesting series, and in just a few minutes, ROCCAT will return to the stage to try and bring the set to the full 5. We'll look ahead to Game 4 when we return.
We take everything step by step. This is simply another step. Just as a practice, we mix no emotions into business because this is so-called business.
Taken down. 3 members of UOL are grouped up, but the damage from ROCCAT is simply too high. Hylissang's in the middle of the team. The hook connects. Power of Evil's down. Gets a knockup onto Nukeduck. Nukeduck's flashed away, but he gets followed. Chachi follows him over the wall. ROCCAT keep their semi-final hopes alive.